My name is Soumya Jha. Recently, I scored rank 58 in Civil Services 2016. This was my first attempt, and I'm here today to share some of my tips and tricks and my strategy with you. I hope this will be of some help to you. I believe that the most important thing that I should tell you before we go any further is that please don't blindly rely on anyone else's strategy. And I'm not saying this because you have your own strengths and weaknesses, or different people have different aptitudes. That is definitely there. But my main concern is that I was a fresher, and every time I used to read somebody else's strategy, I would always come under depression. This was because this being my first time, I had not read most of the books that the toppers would ask you to read. My syllabus would never get completed on time. Many would ask you to do things like finish the prelims syllabus 2 or 3 months before the exam and then only do MCQ practice. I could not do any of that. And every time I used to evaluate myself by reading the topper's interview, I would always fall short. And that would make me go under total depression. I used to think that I was doomed. So, and that used to lead to me wasting a lot of time. So please don't follow the same paths that I did. Listen to everybody, but only do what you think is best. And if you cannot commit to what you have set out for yourself, if you cannot finish the syllabus in time, if you cannot follow somebody else's advice or strategy, please don't panic. Just reevaluate where you went wrong and start again. Even if the exam is one day away and there is a lot of syllabus left, please don't think that this is the end of the road. It never is. So this is the most important thing I would like to share because I have been through that. The second thing I realized about this exam is that you have to evaluate yourself before you sit for this exam. And when I say evaluate yourself, I mean to say that first of all, you have to consider what are your strengths and weaknesses. For instance, my strength used to be that I could memorize things very quickly, but my weakness was that I would forget them very quickly as well. This was my greatest weakness, and in civil services, because the syllabus is large, you have to remember things for a very long period of time. So my reaction to that was maintaining extremely short notes that I could revise at a very short notice, and I tried to do that right the day before the exam. Somehow that worked for me. So this is something that you have to evaluate about yourself. If you have very good long-term memory, you don't need to do this. But if you suffer from issues like mine, you have to follow something like that. The third and I believe the second most important thing I need to convey to you is that even though civil services is a very difficult exam, not only is the syllabus vast, but the exam takes place over one entire course of a year. There are 3 stages. Even if you have one bad day, all the hard work can come to nothing. Apart from that, there is the psychological pressure. You have your peer group which is already earning, already in a job, and you are still at home wondering what the future holds for you. So in many ways, this is a very difficult exam. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that this is only an exam. And psychologically too, this is only an exam, because that's if you fail it, it's not the end of the world. But when you approach on how to study for the exam, you have to remember that this exam is not asking you to be a genius. It's not asking you to have a great command on a subject or to have a great memory or analytical powers. It's not asking you to be very eloquent or verbose. It's not asking for any of those things. What the exam is asking for is, have you understood the process of the examination? Have you understood what to leave and what to study and how to study it, and are you able to replicate that in the exam? I will give you a practical example of what this means. Before my prelims, I believe 2 or 2.5 months before my prelims, I was completely lost. The syllabus was vast. I was studying it for the first time. I had no idea what to do, and my preparation was in complete shambles. I hadn't completed anything, I hadn't memorized anything. So ultimately, somebody gave me the advice to at least understand what the prelims is asking of you before learning all the environment and all of the geography and history that comes my way. I should at least try to understand what is it that the UPSC is asking of us. So what I did was, I prepared Excel sheets for each subject. For instance, suppose there is an Excel sheet for geography. So in the columns, I would write the year 2015, 2014, 2013, and rows would belong to different subtopics that geography contains. For example, climate or biodiversity or atmosphere. And then in the cell that the row and the column made, I would write the basic essence of the question which was asked that year. That initially the entire question paper seemed to be random. But after I did that, I noticed a pattern. There were a few topics which were being asked over and over again by UPSC. And more importantly, I was able to determine how is it that UPSC frames questions from topics. So after doing that, first of all, my revision of the past year questions was completed this way. And secondly, when I was able to pick up my static books again, I was immediately able to zoom on to the most important points and was able to frame questions in my own head of how the questions can be asked from that topic. So that led to a better level of preparation in a shorter period of time. So this was how you understand the essence of the exam. I was very late in doing this for prelims, so I was able to do that since the beginning for mains. I analyzed the questions of mains first of all. That's the most important thing. You have to go through the past year questions, not because questions will be asked from it, but because you get an understanding into the mind of the examiner. What are they expecting of you? So I went through all the past year questions. I realized the way the syllabus is being framed into questions, and then I prepared accordingly. So this is the third important thing I would like to say to you. Apart from that, there are certain questions that all freshers face. I face them too, and I would like to address some of those questions. First is newspaper reading. When I started out, everybody asked me to read newspaper, Hindu and Indian Express, or at least just Hindu, and make daily notes from it. And I believe many of my peers would have gone through the same problem, that you read Hindu for 3 to 4 hours, you try to make notes of each and every small thing. The entire process might take 5 to 6 hours. Then you try to learn that for the day, and the next day the process is repeated. By the end of only 10 days, you have this whole bunch of material that you don't know what to do with. So this was something I faced, and it ate up around 2-3 months of my time. So my way around it was to just read the newspaper normally in the morning, like your father or mother do at the time of breakfast, to just browse through it and know what's going on in the world. And at the end of the month, I would download, there are many monthly compilations which are available on the internet. Many coaching institutions issue them for free. So I downloaded those online and I went through that. And that led to two things. First of all, the entire month was consolidated in notes prepared in such a way that I never could. And secondly, after reading that, the next time I read a newspaper, once again I was immediately able to zoom onto the important topics and leave out the non-important issues or the non-important facts. So these are the two benefits of going through that. So once you understand how the newspaper has to be read, please make newspaper notes. But till then, I would advise it to be better to at least go through the compilations of some of the coaching institutions to understand how the current affairs has to be approached. So that is the first advice. The second thing that confuses many people, it confused me, was the advice on answer writing. Many freshers will notice that almost every aspirant is asking you to practice answer writing. But it gets very confusing when you're beginning out your preparation. That is because you know nothing about the syllabus. Maybe you have just purchased the syllabus 2 or 3 days back. And every question is something completely new to you. And when you write the answer to that question, you are basically Googling each and every word in the question. So that leads to a lot of wasting of time, but people say you have to practice answer writing, otherwise you cannot clear it. So for that, I realized that one has to use their common sense. One cannot start answer writing just out of nowhere. One has to have at least a little bit of basic knowledge before they can attempt that. So my ultimate approach was to study for prelims very well, and through prelims itself I was able to at least get an idea of the syllabus, what is there in history, what's present in geography. When a question from economics is asking me a certain thing, which chapter have they lifted it from, at least I could get this much of an idea. And then you start the answer writing. It is not necessary to know everything about the question before you start that, because that would be completely futile. In UPSC exam you will definitely get at least 5 to 6 questions that you don't know much about, maybe 1 or 2 that you know nothing about, but you will still have to attempt those 5 to 6 questions. So you have to be in practice of writing the questions that you don't know much about, but you cannot write. For instance, there was a question on McBride Commission. Most people didn't know anything about it, so they left it. So this McBride Commission was one question, but the entire paper cannot be like that. So if you are at that stage, you should study first, clear your concepts, and then start the answer writing. So now I'll talk about my stepwise strategy for the 3 exams. For prelims, I already told you what I did. That was mainly for static portion and for the revision of the past year papers. Apart from that, I took the monthly compilations and I just learnt them by heart. I downloaded the major government schemes from PIB, PRS and so on, and then I again learnt them by heart. This was my technique for prelims. For mains, I was a little more systematic. I first of all started by making a list of all the topics in syllabus and leaving some space underneath each topic. And then I would try to Google those topics or to look for them in some other areas. And then I would write at least 3 or 4 lines of importance that can be my introduction when writing about that topic. In this way, I try to complete the syllabus, at least get a rudimentary idea of syllabus by filling a copy with only things relating to the syllabus. Then after that, I did my current affairs thoroughly, and most importantly, after that I started my answer writing practice. I only practiced diligently for around 1 month or 1.5 months. So the focus should not be on the quantity or the number of answers you write. The focus should be on the quality and whether you are able to replicate and improve upon yourself day after day. So one of my friends had cleared civil services a year before me, so I took the question papers from them. I took the sample answers, and rather than going question paper wise, I made my own question paper. What I did was, because I needed to revise history, geography, economics and even ethics in single day, I made my own paper with one question from each topic that I wanted to revise. And then I tried to complete the paper within the stipulated time. It never happened. I was never able to write anything, at least for the first 10 or 15 days, and I was very dejected. But please don't get dejected. Your aim here is not to write brilliant answers. Your aim is to first of all attempt all the questions, no matter how bad the answers. Secondly, to get a good enough writing that the examiner can read what you have written. Thirdly, to have a good format with an introduction, subparts and a conclusion, so that the examiner thinks that at least you have a broad-minded vision. And then the focus should be on content. And the content, you basically, even if you study everything, you will not be able to replicate that in your answers. You will have to get content by basically questioning yourself, forgetting the content and then re-revising it. That's the only way to remember content. So please get to answer writing practice after you're done with your basics. So I did that, and after 25, 30, 35 days, I was finally able to complete the paper and write some meaningful content. One more thing, one tip I would like to share is that in answers, when you write the answers, it is always advisable to write certain facts. For instance, certain international indices that come out, or the sex ratio of India, or some fact which is relevant to the question. If you write it, if you make a diagram or a flow chart, then the examiner thinks that you have a thorough knowledge of the issue. So when you practice answer writing or when you do current affairs, when you find such facts, you can just make a book of facts and write it down. And before going to the exam, just go through the facts. If you can write some of the facts in some of the questions, that will bode well for you. For interview, which is the most erratic part of the preparation, I had filled out my detailed application form in basically I hadn't thought much about what I was going to fill, because at that time my preparation was not at a very good stage. So I tried to fill the form by adding many interests and many hobbies. But ultimately I realized that you don't have to do that. Only write in things that you are interested in right now and can actually answer. I also wrote about things like Kathak, which I had only done till 8th standard, and you don't have to do that. But if you want to, if you are still interested in the topic, you can write about it. The only prerequisite is that you should be ready to learn everything about the topic, have an active interest in the topic, and are able to answer all the questions that are being asked of you. And after you complete the DAF, you should go through the entire DAF. You should ask yourself questions. For instance, you look at your name, ask yourself what does the name signify. Then ask yourself, are there any famous personalities associated with the name? In this way, go through the entire DAF and keep cross-questioning yourself. In this way, maybe they won't ask you any questions from DAF, maybe they will, but at least you will have prepared yourself for all kinds of cross questions, so that when anybody questions and cross questions you, you can second guess what they are about to ask before they ask it. So this is one way in which to prepare the interview, and then you should either give mocks in coaching institutes, or you can have your own friends frame questions and ask you, whatever suits you. But at least get some practice of talking in front of people done before your interview. So this is my strategy for civil services. My optional was medical science. Medical science for all the fellow doctors is a very good optional to have. It's very difficult in the sense that you have to study 4.5 years of medicine, which is completely unrelated to everything that you study in GS. So ultimately it takes up more of your time than general studies, and it is very difficult to remember. But the good thing about it is, if you are able to do all that and give all that to medical science, ultimately it will become a scoring subject, because the answers are objective, they are not subjective. So if you have a right answer, the answer is right and you will get marks no matter what. For medical science, I refrained from going through all of my old books in medicine, because they would be very time taking. Instead, I googled all the topics of the syllabus, and whichever resource I could find which were very short and to the point and with subheadings, either I printed them out or I made notes from the internet itself. In this way, I had 2 or 3 copies full of medical science facts. I also divided them system wise. For instance, you may know that cardiovascular system is also included in anatomy, it's also in pathology and physiology. So instead of doing it subject wise, I did it system wise. That meant that even in paper 1, I was able to quote treatments or approaches from paper 2, and in paper 2, I was able to draw diagrams from paper 1. So that helped me, and I got a score of 308 in medical science. So I believe you should follow some of that. Friends, I would also ask you to like this video if you found my tips helpful, and please subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks and inputs from the topic. That's it for now. I wish you all the best, and if you have any queries, please ask me in the comments below. Thank you.